Good afternoon, everyone. So, hope you all are doing well. Okay. So, today we need to start with this particular geography orientation, right? So, your preparation is going fine, I hope so. So, come to our topic, which is the preparation, how to prepare for mains geography. Okay. So, similar to how we saw this particular science and technology, here also there is a sequence. First, we'll understand. Anyway, you know about the syllabus, but anyway, from my side, I'll also once again give a clarity about the syllabus. After going through the syllabus, let's see the significance of this particular portion. That is like the subject geography in the mains examination. How many amount of marks, and what are the areas that is giving much importance to the in terms of the number of questions or number of marks, whatever it may be. So all those things we'll go through, and finally, of course, the material that needs to be referred, and which the strategy, how you can approach each individual areas of the syllabus. Okay, so I'll just give you a overview about all this particular thing through this particular orientation. Okay, so this is what you can expect from this particular session. Now I will start sharing my screen. Wait a minute. Still the permission is not there. Can you see my screen now? Okay, so I hope you can see the screen now. I'll just put this particular thing. Okay, let's start with the syllabus directly. Okay, so we have already what is that knows the things. Okay, so when we say geography, I hope you can understand it falls under two heads, which is physical geography and human geography. Okay, so under physical geography, what are the things that we'll come across, which is geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, environmental geography, and biogeography. Okay, so under physical geography, we'll having all these heads: geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, environmental geography, and biogeography. So similarly, when we speak about human geography, okay, so we are going to divide the human geography only under two heads, which is social geography and economic geography. Okay, social geography and economic geography. See, in terms social geography means I have already given this explanation, but anyway, once again, when we say social geography, it is about the population, it is about the settlement, those things. Those things will come under social geography. Okay, the tribes, the races, those things. When we say economic geography, how geography is influencing the economic participation of the humans. For example, if one need to establish an industry, what are the geographical factors that influence in deciding the industrial locations? Okay, if you I have see, if you say there are two types in what do you say, there will be an industry location and there will be a resource location, right? Correct? Or you can say there will be a we can put it like this: there will be a location of resource and there will be location for market. So from the resource we produce something, and through the production we'll sell it to the market. So this is the linkage. See, I could not write a scribble out in this particular area, so I couldn't draw the things, but anyway, I hope if through my hand motions you can understand the things. See, you have an can we write it down? Yeah, we can write it here. See, it's literally for me it is a bit difficult, but and what you can say is kindly adjust. See, if this is the market and if this is the resource base, Sorry. Anyway, it is a little bit difficult for me. Right? So see, if this is the resource base and this is the market, the industry will be somewhere in between these two particular areas. So see, I have already given 2 points, which is weight losing industries and weight gaining industries. So when we say weight losing industries, from the raw materials, the industry is processing the raw materials. Due to that, the weight of the raw material is getting reduced, which is called as weight losing industries. The examples are iron and steel industries. Iron and steel industry is a very great example for weight losing industries. So in such kind of scenarios, for weight losing industries will be generally located nearer to the raw material locations. Okay. Similarly, there are certain industries called as weight gaining industries. Weight gaining industries in the sense there will be many raw materials which will be procured from many places, and closer to the market, these things will be assembled, and the weight of the product will be high, or you can say the weight of the product will be gained, and that will be sold to the market. Okay. So the weight gaining industries are generally close to the market, and the weight losing industries are generally close to the raw material base. The reason is very simple, because of the transportation cost. So when the weight of the product is high, the transportation cost will be high. So when the heavier product will be close to the market and the lighter product will be close to the raw material. That is the main idea, because this is a huge thing. This is the main idea behind why certain industries are located close to the raw materials and why certain industries are located close to the market. So if you take an example of Chennai, you can see the automobile industries will be generally around the fringe areas of Chennai. Sriperumbudur, for example. Okay. So the automobile industries are generally closer to Chennai, nearer to market. So this is nothing but the automobile industries are weight gaining industries. Okay. So there are certain other set of industries called as footloose industries. Footloose industries are those industries which will not come under these two restrictions. It will not be either raw material oriented or it will not be either market oriented. It can be anywhere in areas. The only requirement for setting up of that particular industry is a good communication and transport connectivity. Okay. If that is there, these industries will be established. So in this way, the geographical factors will be having an influence in the economical parameters of certain things of the human. Okay. Like industries, like trade, tourism, those aspects. Okay. So these things will come under economic geography. So in terms of your mains syllabus, it is these two areas which is important. One is your physical geography. Okay. And the another one is your economic geography. So let us understand about these two things in detail now. Okay. So I'll start with the first point, which is salient features of world's physical geography. So see, when I say the salient features of world's physical geography, it is geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. Environmental geography and biogeography will be, in a nutshell, is coming under, I hope you can follow me, the last point. Okay. So it is this particular area which will be covering this particular environmental and biogeography areas. Okay. The last point. Geographical features and their location changes in critical geographical features. I will explain about this. Hold on. Okay. But now you concentrate only on these three heads: geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography. See, in this geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography, geomorphology will be having a great prominence in terms of main questions. In climatology and oceanography, climatology you can expect one question because of the increased significance of climate changes in the present situation has demanded some amount of questions coming from climatology. A minimum one question will be asked. Okay. Oceanography, not many questions are being asked from oceanography. Okay. But now and then they may ask one question. Okay. So I'll show you the split also. See, geomorphology, if you say the number of questions, if you say geomorphology, it generally will be on the higher side. I hope you can follow. Okay. So climatology, one question minimum they may ask. Okay. This one question is the reason is the present significance of climate change in the current affairs. So that is the reason generally climatology we expect one question every now and then. And oceanography, it is not necessary they are going to ask many questions, but you can expect a minimum one in 1 or 2 years or something like that. Okay. So this is the least priority area, oceanography. Geomorphology is the most priority area. Climatology will come under the next thing. Okay. So see, when you prepare geomorphology, you shouldn't, what you can say is, there is no directly you can say this this is the most important area of geomorphology coverage. No. Okay. So if you look into the geomorphology syllabus, I hope you know about the endogenic process and exogenic process, right? So in these endogenic and exogenic process, the questions are not coming from one area called as exogenic process. Only the endogenic process is getting questions. Okay. So your preparation should be very much focused on the entire endogenic process. Okay. So no, you don't need to cover much on this particular exogenic process. Okay. In exogenic process, certain things are there. For example, like the landslides and things that you will cover under a different thing. I will explain that also. I'll make you cover that particular areas like landslides and etc. Okay. Those things you will cover through a different thing. But okay. So I'll give you how you have to cover that particular thing, because there is one thing called as, in the third point, if you notice, there is one thing called as important geophysical phenomena. Okay. Through this particular important geophysical phenomena, as a very small significance of that particular exogenic process will be prepared. So don't worry about those things. So give focus on endogenic process. Okay. Climatology, you just go through the everything, because any area from what is it, the weather systems, wind, those are the prominent areas. But anyway, you go through the entire climatology, any question from any area may be asked. Oceanography also the same case. Okay. Kindly go through the entire oceanography. One question will be asked that may be from any areas like ocean current, ocean tide, or ocean deposits. They may ask from any areas. Okay. So kindly go through. This is how you have to prepare about this particular first thing called the salient features of world's physical geography. Okay. So I told you physical geography, the three heads will be there. The last two, environmental geography and biogeography, I'll give you an explanation later. Now come to the next area, that is human geography. In human geography, you don't need to worry about the social geography. The economic geography is the area that you have to study. See, the economic geography, they have covered in 2 points in this particular thing. The first is distribution of key natural resources. Key means important. Okay. Distribution of important natural resources across the world, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent. Okay. So when they say in bracket, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent, give more significance to that content which is given within the bracket. And the questions are also more oriented towards Indian scenario, and that doesn't mean we can neglect the world. You have to study about the world, but Indian significance needs to be given more importance. Okay. So first I will explain about this particular line, which is the distribution of, the syllabus itself very clearly says key natural resources. It is not that all the natural resources needs to be prepared, only the important natural resources across the world. Okay. If you look into the questions are also covering from only the areas which is the key natural resources, not all the questions. Okay. So see, when I say key natural resources, the natural resources can be divided into two heads. What are those things? Metallic resources and non-metallic resources. Okay. Metallic and non-metallic. From metallic resources, it is not necessary many questions are being covered from metallic resources. Any significance which is there in the question paper, you kindly go through. Rest of the things, don't worry about it. Not much questions are coming from metallic resources. Recent significance, if you want me to say, I will give you two highlights, which is the iron and steel industry areas, that is the resources which is used for iron and steel industry, like iron ore and things, iron ore and those things you please kindly go through for the metallic resources. Added to that, nowadays the semiconductor industry is having a very prominence. Okay. So that resources which is used for semiconductor industry, kindly go through that particular thing. Okay. Once again, I am saying the resources which is used in semiconductor industry, kindly go through the distribution. It is not needed. For example, the other things kindly go through. You have to prepare this resources area in a way how these resources are distributed across the world, across India, like that. Where are the bases where these resources are located? The next thing you have to prepare is, what is the challenge in extracting the particular resources? Understood? I'm once again saying, what is the challenge the government faces, or the world faces, or India faces in extracting, or in what is it, getting the advantage of that particular resources? What is the difficulty? Okay, or the issues surrounding that particular resources? This is what you have to prepare. Okay, where it is spread, what is the challenge that we have in extracting that particular resources, and the resources பயன்படுத்துறதுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு என்ன challenge இருக்கு. So அதை தான் நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும், focus பண்ணணும். So this is how you have to prepare for this particular area called as distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent. I can also show you some questions related to this particular thing. Parallelly, I will also show the questions. Okay. Okay, I'll just finish up that and then I'll show you those things. Now see, now I have highlighted the metallic resources. Now when you come to non-metallic resources, see, it is very easy to prepare this non-metallic resource. Don't get confused. See, since the word is very open-ended, key natural resources, everything on the earth, the people will start preparing. It is of no use to this mains examination. You have to divide the topic into metallic resources and non-metallic resources. Metallic resources, I have just now given the explanation. When you say non-metallic resources, it is your focus should be on energy resources, nothing more than that. Okay, the focus should be on energy resources. Every year, for example, even at least 2 years once, it is more or less every year. Sometimes in a very rare cases, 1 year may be skipped. Every year one question is received from this particular area called as energy resources. Okay, in this energy resources, give more importance to renewable energy resources or non-conventional energy resources. I hope you know about the difference between renewable and non-conventional. Okay, see, I'm not going into the details of those things since I'm giving an orientation. So you go through this renewable and non-conventional energy resources. You go through this particular resources. There is a high possibility one question you can receive from this particular area. Okay, so it is easy. Okay, there we have only around some 6 or 7 what is that, renewable and non-conventional energy resources. If you go through that, you can highly expect one question from that particular area. And the other area, which is the non-renewable and what is that, conventional energy resource, you can expect a question from that particular thing also. So kindly study in such a way. Okay, so how these resources are distributed, what is the difficulty or what is the challenges the government faces in extracting or getting the benefit of this particular resources. If you prepare the content in such a way, this will be one question you can easily get from this particular area. Okay, understood? So the next one is, so this is what the economic resource base of economic geography. The next question is very clearly mentioned, which is the factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary, and tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, including India. See, when they give a significance of the world, normally not much questions. Yes, they have asked, but it is not necessary. The world questions are very prominent. India give more importance to the India area. So I hope you know what primary sector industries. Primary sector is agriculture. When it is an industry, it is agro-based industries. Okay, don't study agriculture under this particular section. It is not an agriculture area. It is an agro-based industries. Okay, for example, I would say the textile industries that will come under this area. Okay, got it? So marine culture, that is pisciculture, one question is also asked. Okay, so those areas, agro-based industries will be the primary sector industries. Okay, kindly go through this particular things. And secondary is manufacturing industries, tertiary is service sector industries. See, while preparing this particular area, I will be giving one small strategy, because strategy, instead of explaining it separately, I'm parallelly explaining it here. So to prepare this particular primary, secondary, and tertiary sector industries, see, easily in current affairs, you will be having some industries which is the top of the top. If you prepare that particular industry, two or some, you can say some 2 to 4 industries will be there in the top of the top. You can expect easily one industry question from that particular area. Okay, so see, you can expect nearly 2 questions from this particular thing, which is the factors responsible for location of primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. You can expect minimum of 2 questions from this particular area. So in preparing these 2 questions, there is high current affairs significance is attached. Okay, so totally, if you say primary, secondary, and tertiary, you will be having a list of around 10 industries. Okay, not more than 10 industries. Okay, so if you prepare all those 10 industries, it is enough. Okay, so that is a way of doing this particular things. If you want me to name the secondary sector industries, yes, it is iron and steel, semiconductor industry. Give more significance. Okay, that is very important. Aluminum industry, that is also a talk of the town now. Aluminum industry, please kindly go through. If you want to refer any materials for this particular thing, kindly use the Majid Hussain book. Majid Hussain. Okay, Majid Hussain of Indian Geography, kindly go through that. You can easily get the data of the industries. All these 3 industries, primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, it is listed in that particular book. Kindly go through that particular book. Okay, so see, this is how you have to prepare this particular area. So while preparing industries, I want you to study the industries in the following way. First, the growth of the industry. Growth of the industry means how the industry was when it was originated, and how industry is when it is at the present. Okay, so how it was during the time of evolution, that is like industrial revolution times, and how it is in or you can say in terms of India, how it was started in India and how it is at the present. So that map, that growth, how it has changed, how it has evolved over, kindly study that particular thing, the growth of the industry. Okay, the next thing is, what are the factors, the locational factors, which is responsible for establishing that particular industry. That is what your syllabus says, factors responsible for location. Okay, kindly go through what are the factors which is responsible for the location of that particular industry, whether the main factor is raw material or whether the main factor is market, whether the main factor is skilled labor, like that, whether the presence of electricity infrastructure is reason for the establishment of a particular industry. Got it? So what are the factors which is responsible for the location? Yes, it is true, the syllabus says only the factors responsible for the location, but since the questions are more analytical oriented, you have to study, along with factors, you have to study 2 more heads, which is the problems faced by the industry. What are the problems the industry is being faced at the current situation? Kindly go through the problems, and what are the prospects of this particular industry, and what are the prospects that the industry can give to our country. Okay, so the 4 heads are growth of the industry, what are the locational factors, what are the problems, and what are the prospects. If you study these 4 areas, any industrial question can be easily managed by you, despite if you didn't come across that particular industry. If you write the answers under this 4, if you prepare an answer under this 4 heads, you can easily manage that particular question. Okay, literally you can expect from this second para nearly 4 questions you can expect from this particular area. The resources and industries, you can expect minimum of 4 questions, maximum of 4 questions. Okay, 3 to 4 easily. The third area, which is the third para, which says the important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. Okay, so see, This geophysical phenomena you have in paper GS paper 3, that is that economy area paper. In that paper you have one line called as disaster and disaster management. Okay, that is different and this one is different, but the heads are same. Okay, it is related to disaster, but if you see, it was mentioned as important geophysical phenomena. Okay, so such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. Okay, so see, here the geophysical phenomena they are focusing on is related to disasters. Okay, so but the line once again they have mentioned it as etc, and more number of questions are being asked from this particular etc rather than these particular earthquakes, tsunami and things like that. Okay, so see, to prepare this particular area you can use this particular what is that uh, NDMA website. Okay, use NDMA website. Under the NDMA website there is one head called as natural hazards. So under the natural hazard they have listed certain natural hazards, for example landslides, floods, urban floods, cloud burst. All these four areas is not given in this syllabus, but it is covered through etc, and all these four things were listed as a natural hazard in NDMA. In fact, 2022 they have asked a question from cloud burst. Okay, but all these were mentioned as natural hazard in NDMA website. So if you prepare these, so what does this particular etc means? So if you ask me that particular question, the etc simply means go and see what are the natural hazards listed under NDMA. Okay, if you cover that particular natural hazards, that is enough. This etc is covered. Okay, so here you have to understand the causative factors for all these natural hazards, how it is getting generated. Okay, so and similarly the distribution, I have very much stressed on this particular line called as distribution, because geography is nothing but distribution of time and space. I have repeatedly underlined this particular thing during the classes. Those who haven't attended this particular line, I'll just explain what does it mean. Geography is distribution of time and space, which means over the time, what are the changes that you witness on the earth. For example, in the areas of Himalayas, there were no Himalayas some million years back, which is 65 million years back. There were no Himalayas, but at present, you are seeing Himalayas in the same location. Okay, so over the time there was variation, there were changes. So geography will study how that particular change has occurred. Okay, so geography is nothing but studying the distribution of phenomena. Similarly, over space means over area. You can see mountains only at a particular location and not in all the areas. So why mountains are being developed in that particular areas and not in any other areas? Why deserts are witnessed only in a particular area and not in many other areas? So that distribution should be also studied. So that is what geography deals with. Geography is not literally a study of earth. It is about the study of variable characteristics of earth. Variable characteristics means what are the variations that you see over the earth. Okay, so I'm not going into the details of those things, but this is a simple understanding of geography. Okay, so it is about studying the distribution of space and time. So similarly, if you study earthquakes, why earthquakes are related to a particular area and not in all the areas? That is what the distribution. Understood what I'm highlighting? Okay, where are the earthquakes hotspots? Where are the earthquakes frequently occur? How in the world the earthquakes are distributed? We have a very great, what is that picture or the distribution map which is there in your NCERT. Distributions of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Kindly go through those particular things. Similarly, the distributions of tsunami. What are the cyclone prone areas and what are the other areas? Where are the areas where the cyclone is more prone? Kindly go through this particular thing, and while writing answers, draw a map and show that these particular disasters are more focused on those which are those areas. Okay, so this is a two-way areas. So see, if you study those particular distributions, you have to write the answer here geographically, which means why earthquake is confined or earthquake is distributed only in those areas. If the questions you have to write geographically, why it is being confined to these particular areas. Okay, so if you understand geographically, then you can easily say why earthquake is being more aligned to the margins of Pacific Ocean. Easily you can say it is nothing but convergence of plate tectonics, the convergent plates. Okay, so that geophysical phenomena you have to study. Okay, this is what this in this particular area, the relevance of this particular disasters, how geographically that disaster is getting, and what is the reason for the distribution of this particular disaster. This is what you have to write answers in GS paper 1. In GS paper 3, there is the same question which is being asked in the terms of disaster and disaster management. So there you have to study in the way of disaster management. Okay, which is nothing but understand the causative factors of the disaster. So how you have to prepare for the disaster, how you have to manage, which is nothing but the mitigation of disasters. Okay, so those management areas, disaster management, you have to prepare in GS paper 3. Here, why it is distributed in this particular areas. Understand the difference between these this one and that one. In paper 3, it is disaster management. Okay, here it is why the distribution of the earthquake. Okay, you have to before without understanding why, you cannot write an answer on the management. Okay, so kindly if you prepare this particular area, prepare altogether the disaster management also, so that will be a, one sequence you can prepare the answers. Okay. For sure you will get one question from this particular area. Every year you are getting a question from this particular area, and that question is very much relevant to your current affairs. No question is not part of the current affairs is reflected in this particular area. It is always part of your current affairs. Landslides, they have asked a question. Cloudburst, they have asked a question. Heat wave, kindly go through heat wave. Repeatedly they are asking a question from heat wave. Repeatedly they are giving news from heat wave. Kindly go through that. Okay, so this is how you have to prepare this particular area. One question which is relevant of current affairs certainly will be reflected in this particular area. Kindly go through that. Okay, so this particular last area, which is geographical features and their location changes in critical geographic features. In critical geographic features, bracket within the bracket they have mentioned including water bodies and ice caps, and in flora and fauna and the effects of such changes. So what is the impact of that particular change? It is nothing but the climate change and impact. That is the main understanding of this particular question. But the impact you have to study in the lines of vegetation, in the lines of fauna, which is the animal life. So what are the impact of the climate change on flora and fauna, and what is the impact it has on water bodies and ice caps? Okay, so this is the way of preparing this particular area, the impact of climate change on these particular things. Okay, so see, I'll also give you a kind of one way of looking at this particular area. I am linking, see, I'm linking this particular lost point with the natural resources. Okay, because if you see water bodies, ice caps, flora and fauna, all are natural resources only. Okay, so see, I'm linking this particular thing with this particular natural resources. See how means, see, this natural resources I can broadly divide it into land resources and water resources. Yes or no? Correct. So when you study this land resources, you have to study this land resources changes that will happen in this land resources, which will have an impact negatively on human. Okay, or I would say, see, the land degradation, what are the factors or what are the activities that leads to land degradation? Okay, the changes of land use which is happening, due to which the land is getting degraded. For example, deforestation, desertification, all these things are nothing but the land resources you have to prepare, but you have to prepare it in the way of degradation, or you have to prepare in the way of change in land use that lead to impact in flora, fauna, and things like that. Okay, what is the impact this particular changes will have on the earth, that you have to study. Understood? The land resource. Similarly, water resources. Similarly, water resources. So what are the ways in which the water resources will be impacted? So kindly go through that particular area. Water degradation, or for example, water pollution, those things. Okay, so this contamination will have an impact. Or extreme utilization of water for irrigations, or extreme utilization for water for many other activities, that lead to degradation of water resources. And what is the impact that particular degradation has on the earth? You have to study in this particular way. Understood things? Okay, so broadly, land resources and water resources, and what are the changes because that happens on this particular land resources and water resources that has an impact on the earth. You study in such a way. If you prepare an answer like that, easily you can answer. One question will be also for sure, certainly will come from this particular things. Okay, so if you notice my lecture, every time I am saying one question is for sure suddenly coming, two questions are suddenly coming, three questions are suddenly coming, because the number of questions that is coming from geography syllabus is very high, or I would say the number of marks which is coming from geography syllabus is very high in GS1. It is somewhere around 100. The paper is 250 marks. The paper involves history, which itself is a very broad thing. Ancient, medieval, modern, art and culture, world history, post-independent India, all those things are there. And you have society area also. Added to that, you have geography. Understood? So in this one geography, you are having 100 marks, which is very much significant. Understood? You understand the importance of studying one area and getting a maximum mark. Don't skip. You can skip geography only at your peril. Okay, there is no room. Every area that you prepare in geography, there is high possibility you will get a question. Then not high possibility, certainly you will get a question. For example, with the I have shown you the split also, right? See the split. If you prepare physical geography, you are getting around 4 questions, 3 to 4 questions. See the resources and industries. See 3 questions. Got it? So similarly, see disaster management. See, the reason I have mentioned this disaster management here, it is thing as geophysical phenomena. I told you one question for sure will be there. Understood? So around 8 to 10 questions are coming. 8 to 10 questions. If the questions number is 20, you can get around 8 to 10 questions. If the question number is 25, you can get even more than 10 questions. Okay, so you can expect around, if you add the GS paper 3 also into this particular area, you can get a minimum of 100 to 125 marks from geography. 100 to 125 marks minimum. Maximum it may go. Minimum of 100 to 120 marks from geography is being asked. So don't lose this particular area. 100 to 125 marks. Okay, so kindly go through this particular area. So next question from your side will be the reference materials you will be asking. It is not going to be different. The same thing. Go Cheng Liang, certificate physical geography, NCERT geography 11 and 12. 11 there will be 2 books, 12 there will be 2 books. Okay, in which you have to when you study world human geography and also Indian human geography, you have to focus on only the economic geography, not the social geography. Once again, I'm underlining, social geography is not required for you in this particular geography syllabus. Okay, so but you have some important relevance in society also. You have one separate topic called as Indian society. There you will study about urban overpopulation, underpopulation, that you will study population and its impacts. But if you study the NCERT social geography book, you can easily understand what are the impacts of overpopulation and what are the impacts of underpopulation and everything. Okay, so in terms of the syllabus that I have mentioned, you need to study only economic geography, but social geography will be helpful for you in terms of society, studying the society. Okay, that will be helpful also for you. So study these 4 books. Okay, so you have one atlas, because to study the distribution, To look into the distribution, you have to use one atlas. I have shared all my slides with you. Kindly go through the slides. Okay. Current affairs, till now I have explained how the current affairs is having a significance in terms of questions. Okay. Kindly go through this particular things. Okay. So if you are finding it difficult to study these two books, you see, if you want to, if you have time and you can study one huge material, I would suggest one material called as PMF IAS. PMF, I hope, Poor Man's Forum, there is one website called as PMF. You can get the material of PMF. Okay. Geography, physical geography PMF, Indian physical geography PMF notes. Okay. If you take, if you search it in the Google, you can get that. PMF IAS material also you can use. If you are using PMF, don't study these two things. Okay. I will strongly recommend studying only one source. Don't study multiple sources. It is literally waste of time. ஓகே. ஸோ சார் சொன்னாரு அதனால இப்படி பண்ணேன் அப்படின்லாம் சொல்லாதீங்க. நான் வெரி கிளியரா சொல்லிட்டேன். ஒரு ரிசோர்ஸஸ் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. ஒன்ல நான் சொல்றது இதை மட்டும் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. இல்ல PMF IAS பண்றீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒன்லி PMF மட்டும் பண்ணுங்க. இதை பண்ணாதீங்க. இதை ஒதுக்கிடுங்க. ரெண்டையும் பண்ணிட்டு அதையும் படிச்சு முடிச்சிருக்க மாட்டீங்க, இதையும் முடிச்சிருக்க மாட்டீங்க. டோன்ட் டூ தட் மிஸ்டேக். ஓகே. ஐ எம் வெரி கிளியர் ஆன் தட். Okay. I have already given this explanation on the strategy, but anyway, I'll just refresh you. I told you, right? The salient features of world physical geography, you have to give importance to geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography. And to study the last two, environmental geography and biogeography, you have to study through the final point, which is climate change impact orientation. Okay. That is the last, this particular critical geography features you studied, right? So you have to study it in the form of climate change impact. Okay. You are getting very much, certainly you can get a question from that particular area. The resources, I have very clearly said, study the priority of renewable energy and how with current affairs you can prepare the metallic and the non-metallic resources. Okay. So kindly go through that. Water resources, the causes of degradation and how you can make steps to conserve. Similarly, land resources, the causes of degradation and what are the steps through which you can conserve. Okay. So how the land resources are getting impacted due to the changes. Okay. So you study that particular causes and study also you have to prepare how we can conserve that particular impact, conserve that particular resources. Okay. Kindly go through this particular scenes. So industries, I have very clearly mentioned how do you have to prepare the industries, growth, locational factors, problems, and prospects. Geophysical phenomena, it is completely current affairs relevance. Seek the help of NDMA site. That is enough for studying this geophysical phenomena. Critical geographic features, it is climate change related area. Okay. So I hope I have given a complete explanation of this particular thing. One more area I have to touch upon is showing you the questions. I'll just show you the questions. Cloudburst was added as part of NDMA only at a very later stage. Okay. Under the natural hazards, initially the cloudburst was not mentioned under the NDMA site. Recently only they have added. Once they have added, it was also asked in the question. Okay. So similarly, see, see, this is part of the geophysical phenomena. Discuss the meaning of color coded weather warnings of cyclone prone areas, because nowadays you have you are very much receiving in the newspaper red alert, orange alert, like that. Okay. So that's why this question was being asked. Similarly, earthquake also you have to identify the low earthquake prone area. If you study the distribution, this is part of that. Okay. If you study the distribution of cyclones, you can understand which are the areas the cyclones are less prominent and high prominent, high prone zones, low prone zones, and based on that the color coding can be also understood. Okay. So similarly you go through this particular things. They have asked a question. So natural resources, this is also part of geomorphology. Climatology, one question. See, these kinds of questions nowadays are being asked. Okay. This is part of economic geography. Okay. This is part of economic geography, but see, it is only what I would say is you cannot prepare exclusively for this particular things. You cannot prepare. See, these kinds of questions you have to manage it on the exam hall. You cannot prepare for this particular areas. Okay, your knowledge of current affairs, your knowledge of geography, you have to adapt and you have to manage as per the demand of the question. That's it. Okay, not all the questions will be covered through your book preparation. Okay, some things should come out of your knowledge on the hall that you have with you, and you have to present it in the time of examination. Okay, that you have to see renewable energy. Explain the potential of wind energy in India. Explain the reasons for its limited spatial spread. What does this mean? Distribution of wind energy resources. Always study geography in terms of distribution. Why it is distributed in these areas? Why? Reason for its limited spatial spread, because geography is about studying the distribution. Okay, if you prepare all the things whatever I have mentioned to you in terms of distribution, writing a very great answer will be very difficult, because students of geography do not know how to write a geographical answer, because they will not focus on why it is distributed like this. Okay, the answer of why it is distributed like this will give you the answer. Okay, so always see, students, you should be very much different from the other people. You know how to write geographically. Okay, disaster, for example, the same disaster of earthquake I have mentioned, why you have to write it through geographical answer. And the same question, if you write it in the disaster management, you don't need to write about a geographical answer. Okay, so similarly, oceanography one question, and they have combined the oceanography and the fishing industry. See, what are the forces that influence ocean currents? Factors influencing the formation of ocean currents. That is a question here. And the next one is describe their role in fishing industry of the world. How ocean currents are influencing the fishing industries. That is the question. You know about the things, right? We have discussed during the classes. See, the distribution of rubber producing countries indicates their major environment issues. If you understand the distribution, writing the next part of the question will be easy. Why it is distributed like that? That's a simple thing. That is the main reason to answer any of these questions. Okay. So similar is the case for, I have 8 questions. Similarly, 8 questions means coming around nearly 100 marks. So easily you can secure all these things. Okay. So see landslides, which is not mentioned in your slides, but the question has been asked. Okay, so this is how you have to prepare the what is that subject called geography for your examination. Okay, so any questions, Pa? Any questions?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I'm Roshan.
Yeah, okay, fine. Then can we have
Sir,
yeah, please.
I have done, sir. Sir, regarding that natural resources, should I prepare for that agricultural patterns in India or like?
See, that is part of GS paper 3. That is cropping patterns.
Okay.
See, when you write cropping patterns, you shouldn't need to study in the way of why it is like that. Why it is like that is part of where? GS paper 1. But you can write an answer in that particular area only if you have an understanding why is it like that. Okay, so you have to, here you don't focus much on that particular agriculture thing. You focus agriculture on paper 3, not here.
Okay.
Here it is not part of that particular thing. Here agriculture you are not going to write. In this particular examination, agriculture is not part of your syllabus. Got it?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions, ma? So can we wind it up? Okay. Thank you. I'll stop the sharing. Thank you, ma. Any questions, you can send messages also. If any of you want to say something, you can say, else we can wind up. Thank you, ma. You can exit. Not an issue.
Sir, instead of a PMF source, shall we study sir என்ன சார் படிக்கணும் இப்போ PMF சோர்ஸ்க்கு பதிலா இப்போ என்ன படிக்கலாம் சார்?
அதாவது you have to understand geography in the form of why is it like that. See, for one is that is a basic understanding, right? So on the basic understandings வந்து உங்களுக்கு physical geography கோச்சங் லியோன் and the NCERTs are more than enough. It is not necessary that it is not enough ன்றது கிடையாது. இத படிச்சா போதும். ஆனா கேக்குற questions வந்து கொஞ்சம் இன்டர்பிரேட்டிவா இருக்கிறதுனால sometimes you may find it difficult to present it logically in the what is that examination form. Understood? Some people may find it difficult, but it is not necessary these content will be insufficient. No, I wouldn't say that. Only the analysis part you have to present. But in PMF IAS, the same content which is there in NCERT is given in a much elaborative way. Okay, or I would say it is more comprehensive. I would strongly recommend, if you are writing the mains examination in this particular year, don't go through that. You will not be having much time. But if you are writing for next year, you can go through that. Not a problem. Okay. If you are preparing PMF IAS, don't touch Go Cheng Liang and NCERTs. Don't touch. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prepare only. See, I will strongly recommend of one good resource. Fine. That is a see, in PMF you may find many things which is unwanted in that particular book, that particular material. Many things will be unwanted. You should know which is wanted and which is unwanted. I have given you a orientation now. Pick only those areas which is wanted for your preparation. Don't prepare the content which is given from the start to end. Don't do it, which is a waste of time. Okay, it is literally waste of time. Okay, so cover only those areas which is given in your NCERT books and cover that in your PMF. That is fine. Don't study everything. It is literally waste of time. Got it? So in preliminary exam you can do. I would not say preliminary exam. In preliminary exam you can study like that, because sometimes you may receive one such kind of questions. But mains examination, focused, intensive preparation is what is required. Okay, intensive preparation, not extensive preparation for mains examination. It is intensive preparation which is required. I hope you can understand the difference. Nation, Nation Kartika, I hope you have a clarity now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, then. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Nation. Thank you, Samya.